Working live video. Good morning, everybody. This is Rodney Watson. Said something. Politics205.com, and I'm also a candidate for the District 3 County Commission race, Jefferson County. Something ain't right. How you know?
Did you see it?
I'm going to start answering these questions. First of all, I want to thank Bill for preparing these questions, and also for tolerating some of the controversy that's come along with me running the county commission. It's been it's an experience at the least. I've learned a lot. Like I say, we don't have just days now, and then we'll know how things are going to turn out. I do want to say, though, that I truly believe that the population leaving Jefferson County, and the reason they're leaving is Jefferson County's biggest problems. I got in this race because of the illegal dumps and the terrible litter issue that we have, and I called the county and trying to get stuff straightened out, trying to find out what's going on. You know, in my opinion, if the litter can't get straightened out, they can't straighten out anything else, and that's just about coming down to that as a fact, and that's why people are leaving Jefferson County. And if you don't believe that, I would encourage you to go read a book, The Way the World Works. It breaks down the world into economics and political influence, and how we respond as humans to the politics and economics of our particular place we live, and we vote against it with our feet and our dollars. And when if you don't vote for me, that's fine. That's fine. And the electorate knows best. I would accept. I'll take that. Bring them on camera. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Anyway, obviously we accept our elections because we accept the decision of the people voting, but people have cast a vote against Jefferson County when they leave Jefferson County. All right? And the vote says this, that Jefferson County is a good place to come make money, but it's not a good place to live, because people work in it, they take their money somewhere else. And that's something that we've got to make Jefferson County worth living in. If you work here, it should be a place that you also want to live, and that's what we've got to work on. But I'm going to start in on these questions. This is my first Facebook Live. It says Brittany Franklin Brasher is watching. Bring them on camera. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Some live video guest. I don't know, Kelly. All right. Now, this is the questionnaire. It says, most of us in District 3 would like less litter on the roadside. This is a problem that never seems to get better. And with new industry coming in, it will probably get worse unless there is meaningful action beyond what we have now. It detracts from both our quality of life and property values. What is your plan for reducing litter in District 3? My plan for reducing litter is we've got to work on some legislation to get the fines increased. Like I say, I was in Louisiana, and their maximum fine was $3,000 plus community service. I've seen some litter cams in Walker County. They work in the areas that they're in. With your litter cams, they've got to be sort of mobile. You've got to be able to move them around. I'm not saying all of them have to be mobile, but people will get used to them, and they'll just go find somewhere else to dump. You've got to have these litter cams where people are always suspicious that they're being looked at, So you increase the fines, you get your litter count. Yeah. And anyway, the litter cams, increased fines. Now, increasing the fines is going to take some legislation. And I went into Tuscaloosa the other day. I went down there to the shrimp basket, and they had some litter. They've got a litter issue, so we should be able to get with those other counties and put together something to go to Montgomery and get this taken care of. It will have to be a bill or something. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not a I don't have any experience in that, but we have people at the county that can help with that. That is going to be a priority of mine, the litter. Let me address that about costing us in our property values. When people see litter to the extent that we have it, that just turns them off. That's just like going into a restaurant and your waiter is filthy and dirty and your table's not clean. They may have the best food, everything they cook in the back may be great and may be sanitary, but you're going to judge that restaurant on that table and on the way that waitress or waiter looks. We're being judged unfairly by things that really we should just be able to get cleaned up. And it is costing us. And it's costing us in jobs as well. It says, how do you feel about Jefferson County Commissioners being more transparent with tax revenue and county projects regarding where the money is coming from and where it is going? Well, I mean, I believe absolutely they need to be more transparent. It says, how do I feel about Jefferson County Commissioners being more transparent? I mean, I believe where they spend the money should be open all the time. I will say this: I do think if you got the time to go down there and spend, you can find out where they're spending it at. But also, a few years back, I understood that we had some legislators wanting to look at our budget, and the county didn't even have a budget that they could put together and show them where they had spent the money. It's kind of like the county can't turn over their checkbook because it's so messed up. And last I heard, this was up like to 2 years ago, they still couldn't do it. That county's checkbook, as an example, should always be ready for somebody to look at it, at least up to the last quarter. But I think the question reflects something we all know, that they really can't answer for the spending. I mean, you can probably go up there and look and dig yourself and find out, but they're not transparent enough. I'm wanting to be careful about making you a campaign promise. I'm going to be transparent about what I have to do with. But the way I understand it right now, there's people spending money up there that other people don't know about, other commissioners, and they don't have any kind of handle on the spending, is what I understand, because it's not necessarily somebody's corrupt. It's like a hornet's nest up there. There's no organization. I mean, believe it or not, Jefferson County has a huge organizational problem. It says the county has a gold mine in Warrior River and Port of Birmingham, which is an international waterway. God gave us this natural resource, but it has been largely ignored and grossly underutilized. Would you consider matching funds for the new stadium and direct it to this area of District 3? The quick answer is, would I consider matching funds for the new stadium and direct it to this area of District 3? Yes, if it was a functional program or project. I mean, I would want to break it down, just like I've broken down this stadium into the economic benefits, and I would study where that has happened in other places, whatever that project is, and see how it's going to work. I wouldn't just let's just say that the port down here wanted $1 million a year from the county, and they said it would generate so much economic impact. I wouldn't just take the CEO's word down there for it, or the plant manager, or the people that's owns the company. I would take what they say and I'd go look somewhere else, because I know one thing about the private sector is, generally speaking, it's generally already happening if it'll work in the private sector. Now, I don't believe everything the government does has to make a profit. I'll use this as an example. You take like your fireworks shows that we put on at New Year's and I think it July 4th. I'm not sure who pays for that. I'm sure though that's City of Birmingham, maybe Jefferson County, some funds or some nonprofits do that. But it is absolutely just burning money, however much that fireworks show cost. But there's no way to put that fireworks show on and charge admission to everybody that sees it, because you can stay here in Pleasant Grove and watch that fireworks show. And I think the fireworks show is something that's good for us as a community. But if somebody was to tell me that we're going to put a fireworks show on and we're going to raise a tax and we're going to make you fund it and it's going to be economic development, I'd have a problem with that, especially if we plan on doing it for the next 30 years. The fireworks show should be one of those things that we do it when we have it, and if we don't have it, that's one of the things that get cut, And that's, I'm not talking about the fireworks show, but that's where government spending is with me, with a lot of this stuff that we don't really need, but we do it to make things better. We should be able to cut it off if it needs to be cut off in difficult times. When you make a 30-year commitment to this stadium up here, we're sort of committed to it. And everything I read about the stadium economically, it can't do anything they said it would do. They should have just come out and said, we want a stadium downtown. Probably not going to pay off. Probably going to cost revenue that we already have to put in to keep it up. But we want one. And that's what we want. We want y'all to pay for it. And that's what they should have put before the county and the city, but they didn't do that, see. And the big thing about this stadium, and I'm going to get back on this port about the money, giving the money to it. But I won't do anything like this stadium's been done, is what I'm trying to say. This stadium was voted against 20 years ago. And those people, including Jimmy Stevens and the City Council of Birmingham, they didn't care about what we voted on. And the people spoke on that. Just like this election's coming up, we should get to speak on these things, and that should be it. That should be the end of it. But they didn't leave it alone. If they wanted to know a new opinion from the people on this stadium, they should have put it up for another vote. But they didn't do that because they know what would have happened. They know they went against the people's will on this. That in itself is enough for me to throw a man out of office. You go against my will, and I'm the one in the authority, and we was the one in the authority on this stadium, because we were ruled by the people. It's a government of the people, by the people. Now we have representatives that we vote for, but in this instance, we voted on this stadium, and we said no 20 years ago. And if they wanted to have our opinion, they'd have put it up for another vote. They didn't do it. They went around us. But on the port down here, I would be for spending $1 million a year on the right project. But it's after we've done our due diligence and we've taken all the information in. And my big question on something like that would be, like you say something for the port. Excuse me. I'd have to say, well, why ain't this already working? Why do you need government money? Just like I questioned about the stadium. We've had a stadium. We've got a BJCC, and they're not good enough. Well, where's the money that they made? The money that they made should have been put aside to build this new stuff. But, it's gone.